Junior Jewels, I'm Carly.
And I'm Jess, and we are the hosts of Typical Tuesday Night,
a Taylor Swift podcast. Hello, and welcome back to your favorite podcast. I'm Carly.
And I'm Jess.
And today is a news episode. Woo-hoo. We love news episodes, and this time it's actually going to be honest. Yeah. True news.
You tuned in on Tuesday. April Fools.
I just love that we could do that. And it was fun. Well, because we were like, oh my gosh, April Fool's is on a Tuesday. It would be fun to do something. And then you were like, oh my gosh, I get these. You find the craziest fake news.
On Facebook.
Yes.
I get the craziest fake articles about Taylor Swift all the time. And I always send them to Carly or our Taylor Swift group chat. And they're so cringy. We're like, we have to do something like
and we were
this.
Like, oh my gosh. It just lined up too good. Too good. So that was so fun. But we also wanted to announce really quick before we started the news episode, we have our Midnights Taylor Swift trivia coming up. And that's going to be on April 23rd in the evening. And it is just for our Patreon people. So if you want to join in, it's just $5, pay to do the Junior Jewels level. And then that'll get you access. And we've done the trivia before.
It was a blast.
It was so much fun.
We knew we had to do it more regularly.
So it's going to be all based around the Midnight series and kind of what we'll just take questions from what we taught everybody about the Midnight. So it'll be really fun. Yeah. We do prizes and it'll be really fun.
Stay tuned for more details, but it's happening this month. So join for $5 for the month, and you'll if you're in there, you'll for sure see all the information. All the info. Yep, exactly. And we'll link our Patreon in the show notes.
Yeah, so that you
can find it super easy.
Yes.
But then, of course, as always, we love to read a review because you guys always send us seriously the nicest things. Nice. So this review is from Lexi. And she said, "Hi, Carly and Jess. I started listening to your podcast in July and have been in love ever since. As a newer Swiftie, I have been a bit self-conscious about calling myself one, as I felt the Taylor Swift world was so vast and hard to grasp coming in so late, but this podcast has helped me gain confidence in my Swiftyhood, and now my friends and family all think of me whenever anything Taylor comes up." Yes. So funny. Says also, to the point my dad is sending me Facebook videos of Taylor Swift things that I've probably seen ages ago.
That's so sweet, though. We love a supportive dad.
She said, "I wanted to contact you too so I could thank you for all the knowledge you've given on my Swiftie journey. I love listening to the podcast while getting ready, and it's the highlight of my Tuesdays."
Oh, I love that. It's cool because we did see a lot of new Swifties, especially around the Eras tour. And that was one thing that we wanted to make sure of catering to everybody of we're going to give you information if you have no idea what you missed, because there is so much Taylor Swift lore. Yeah. If you weren't there, some things that happen now, you're like, wait, what does that mean? And it's 10 years ago on this date and this time, she said this.
What's the 5 holes in the fence?
Yeah, no, exactly. 100% though. That's totally what it is.
But even for us, we've been around forever, and I feel like I've been kind of paying attention.
Yeah.
I learn stuff every single week.
Exactly.
So it's for
everybody.
All levels.
Yes, exactly.
Beginner to expert.
Yes, for everybody.
So fun.
Okay, we're going to start the news. So it's crazy. When I was making this outline, we left off on the Super Bowl, which is crazy to be that was kind of beginning of February.
Yeah, but obviously
there's just not as much.
A little quiet.
Yes, but it is still crazy to think of how much stuff is still happening.
Yeah.
Even with her, we don't see her very much, and there's still tons that we're going to talk about.
Wow.
So it'll be fun. Okay, the first thing that I wanted to bring up is shortly after the Super Bowl, Sabrina Carpenter praised Taylor, and I loved this quote. She says, "Her stadiums make my shows look like clubs."
Oh,
but I was just
that's
I love
funny.
that. I know. I was that's so Sabrina, but also Taylor. And she's watching her keep their attention as if she's playing in their living room. It was and I told her this, your tour enabled me to do mine.
That's so cute.
I
feel
loved that.
Gracie said something.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, that's so
because I just I think it's so cool. And it's true. I love that she was watching Taylor keep their attention as if they were playing in her living room.
Yeah.
Because that's how when I watch Taylor, I'm oh my gosh, I will not take my eyes off you.
Yeah. And
like,
you don't know anything that's going on around you.
Like it is just her.
Locked in.
Oh, it's so good. So that was really fun. The other thing I want to talk about was Kylie Kelsey went on the Call Her Daddy podcast. And during that, she kind of talked a little bit about Taylor and Travis. It was actually a really good podcast. I think I was listening to it on the way to your house.
I love
her.
I
was like, this was so cute. I love Kylie. It was so fun. But one thing she said was she did officially meet Taylor at the Bills game in January of 2024. And I remember originally a lot of people were mad. I can't believe that's the first time they met. They've been dating since the summer. And it's just even Kylie was like, I didn't meet Travis until I think 9 or 10 months, something like that. We don't need to just immediately meet. I will eventually the right time meet whoever Travis is dating. But also Taylor was on this huge tour. She was releasing.
Travis was in season.
Yeah. It's not they just have time to just, we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So it's too bad that people have to freak out and make a big deal about things. But she said, I have the quote. She says, yes, people are deeply disturbed by this. Well, why? Oh, she's like, there was all this stuff leading up to it. Why haven't they met? They're avoiding each other. And she says, but it was funny to me because I kept saying to people, I didn't meet Travis for, I should have just read this whole thing. Probably close to a year when Jason and I were dating, and she's busy. It's just so silly to me that that's the storyline that was written.
People have to find drama.
Yeah, no, everywhere. They especially not to get into this, but about women.
Yeah.
Okay, let's pit Kylie and Taylor against each other. Why?
Well, and I think you're gonna bring this up, but the whole Taylor cooking for them.
Yes.
That got blown out of proportion so much, and so it seems like she probably cleared it up a little bit on Call Her Daddy.
Yeah. Well, that was when she had if you guys don't know what I was talking about, on Call Her Daddy was when she talked about the food for the first time.
That's when people started nitpicking how she answered.
Yeah. So what happened was Taylor she was like, have you had one of Taylor's home cooked meals? And Kylie was like, oh, no, she's cooked for us, but I didn't eat any of the food. This was literally right after she was talking about how she had just found out she was pregnant. She was super sick. She's not eating. That's so normal.
Yes.
If I'm sick and not feeling good and I'm pregnant and somebody made something, I'm probably not eating it.
And she even, I feel like she made it pretty clear. Yes. It wasn't because of it was weird or gross. No. It was just
I'm pregnant. I don't feel good. I'm not going to eat.
But then what do people do? They take that and they make a headline that says, Kylie Kelsey refused to eat Taylor Swift's home cooked meal.
100%. And it was everywhere. So later she called it out and she was just this is so stupid, you guys. You missed it. You missed the point.
So annoying.
Oh my gosh, I know. And then the other thing that she did say, she said her and Jason found out about the big news together, and that they did know before Taylor attended the first Chiefs game in September. And she joked, she was like, it did not hit the group chat though. And I was just like, oh, they have a group chat.
That's so funny.
So I just thought that was fun.
I saw a funny reel of, I think, these other podcasters talking about Kylie and Jason finding out.
Oh,
And they said, I don't know exactly what the quote from Kylie was, but basically Kylie kind of made it sound like they were kind of officially informed.
Oh, okay.
Before they were talk to Travis and Taylor about it. So because they have to probably immediately before there's any contact made.
Oh,
sign NDRs.
Yes. I'm sure.
All this NDRs, NDAs.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I think I said that recently.
I don't know what you're talking about. Though. It didn't even register.
Anyways, and so these girls were joking. They're like, Tree Paint, she's got a deck. What does it look like? A PowerPoint, slideshow. Your brother is now dating Taylor Swift. Here's what you need to know. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do.
So true though. I would love to see that.
So funny. I know.
That's wild. That is so funny. Yeah. And then Jason also went on a podcast and he was kind of interviewed about how he found out that Travis was dating Taylor. And it was funny because on the podcast, he was like, I cannot even remember right now.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm so sorry. I'm drawing a blank on the first moment. But he said he did remember when Travis revealed that he was kind of hanging out with Taylor. And he said, I remember just being like, are you kidding me? You're going to go hang out with Taylor Swift? That's insane. That's awesome for you. I was like, that's totally, I feel like what a brother would do. Wait, you're serious? No way.
Is this an April Fool's joke?
Yeah, for real.
That's so fun.
And then I just loved this quote. He said, "What also felt different is just the way he talks about her and talked about her from the moment he was with her. You could tell how much he really, really liked her right from the get-go. I think that the level early on, that was something that was very eye-opening to me when we first had that discussion." And I was just like, that's really cute.
It's so fun to hear him talk about like how he can see a difference in Travis with Taylor.
Yes.
I love that.
I know. That's super fun.
So fun. Okay, so the IFPI,
which I had never heard of.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm an idiot. I had to like Google it.
Oh yeah, I've never heard of it either. It's an organization that represents interest in any recording industry. And they released what they think are the top 3 biggest albums.
I think it is. Like it's like
it's
official,
like data driven.
Yeah, like data driven. Okay. Like they do all the stuff for
I mean, I guess
like
if it was called something like IFPI, that sounds pretty
official.
It's not like iHeart Radio.
Yes. Okay. I think this was like all of the selling, all of the streaming, like everything combined for a recording.
Okay. So the top 3 biggest albums of 2024 were, number 1 was The Tortured Poets Department.
It's like obviously.
Classic.
I know.
It's like one of those things where it's like, unfortunately for the rest of the industry, Taylor's pretty much her own competition.
No, for real.
Because she's just on a literally completely different level.
Yeah.
And then number 2 is Hit Me Hard and Soft from Billie Eilish. And then number 3 is Short and Sweet, Sabrina Carpenter.
I know.
Which is like, that's amazing.
I know.
I mean, I obviously knew, I've seen other, data-driven rankings and stuff that she does pretty well, but like this seems pretty huge. Legit, and to be number 3 is a huge
and like
show.
Right next to Taylor and Billie.
Yeah.
Like,
who are very seasoned.
Yes.
Have been
and
big
like
forever.
Huge fan bases. Like way cool. Yeah.
So cool. And then Taylor also became the first female artist in history to surpass 100 billion total streams on Spotify.
Like, I can't even compute that.
Billion.
100 billion.
And it also took her discography. She took her discography off Spotify for 3 years.
I know, which is also wild.
So that like doesn't even, it like takes away 3 years.
Which is wild. Like,
yeah.
In 3 less years than everybody else.
Yes.
She was able to surpass 100 billion.
It's
so crazy. So crazy.
Oh
so
my
cool.
Gosh.
So cool.
And then Gracie.
Yeah.
Gracie said that Taylor Swift changed her life and touring with her felt like going to college. This is a quote from her. She said, "Taylor completely changed my life. It was like going to college for the job of performer. I was studying every detail of her show every single night. It was a masterclass on how to run a business on top of this gorgeous community of people who are down to be super emotional around one another. I think you felt how badly the world needed that. Always and forever, props to Taylor for being the light in a time when we all really needed one."
So cool.
Yes, and I totally agree.
Well, and I love that like description of like it felt like going to college.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it did. Mm-hmm. Like being on the Eras tour with her
about the
and
coolest
being able
internship
yes.
ever.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like honestly, I'm sure Gracie feels like she would have paid
to do that.
To like yes, like
so many artists probably would.
Oh, 100%.
She also said Taylor is a great example of someone she's been lucky enough to spend a lot of time around, and every single time I'm like, tell me everything you know, please teach me how to be. I want to live fully and do my best to capture what that feels like.
I actually love that. And it's cool to see Gracie like wanting to learn too. Mm-hmm. Like I love and respect people that want to like learn to be better.
Yeah.
And like don't think that they just like have it figured out or can figure it out on their own. That, like,
I think I saw something from her recently too that she said she wants to expand her vocabulary too because of Taylor to like better like because she knows like the way that Taylor uses words like captures this certain feeling she's trying to like portray, and she wants to like be able to do that better.
That's cool. So cool. That's really, really cool. Yeah. I love that. Okay. On February 27th, 2 people were arrested for stealing nearly 900 tickets to the Eras tour and selling them and making over $600,000.
Do you know more about this?
So I looked into it a little bit. So basically it looks like what happened is the 2 like allegedly exploded some like loophole and through like some offshore ticket vendor and were able to like intercept tickets and then resell them.
So do you think, because like I heard a lot of people had tickets in their Ticketmaster and then they went to look for them and they weren't
and they were
there.
gone. I think it was probably something like that.
Okay. Because I had heard so many stories like that.
Yeah.
And then how did they even like figure out? I guess just
I don't know how
smart computer people traced it back.
I guess, like, which is wild.
That's cool that like, I don't know. I mean, obviously that sucks and I'm very annoyed of people that do stuff like that. But like, honestly, that news feels like pretty after the fact, but I'm like, it's cool that they weren't like, well,
like it's over.
It already happened. Like, can't really do anything about it. They're like, no, you did something wrong, and we're gonna pay for it.
Well, and it's crazy. They could face up to 15 years in prison.
Good.
No, for reals. But
like,
also,
you can't just do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, I'm sure they did not think they'd get caught.
Yeah.
And that's why even more, I'm like, yes.
That is so crazy.
And then March 10th, Des Moines posted that Taylor and Travis were spotted in Park City, Utah.
Hey,
so close to our house. Our house, like we live together. Our homes.
We're together right now.
Yeah, I mean,
this is where we are right now. This is our house.
Yeah, this is our house. You're right.
4x6 area.
But yeah, they were seen leaving dinner. They were eating dinner at what's called Firewood, which is just in Park City. And it was really cool because it didn't like really leak that they were there until like a week later.
No, I was obsessed with that. I'm like, no wonder she loves Utah.
Yeah.
And like we talked about this on our Patreon a little bit, but like cool too that like even the like small video or pictures we did see, like there weren't like hundreds of camera flashes going off like when they're like in New York and they leave dinner. Like it's like it was a quieter, more chill atmosphere. Maybe they'll buy a house here.
That'd be amazing. That would be amazing.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I also want to talk about Lady Gaga's new song. We've been talking about this a little bit on Patreon, but I thought we'd bring it up here too. The song called How Bad Do You Want Me? Such a bop. I'm loving it.
With it.
I love it so much.
I figured out that literally as soon as I dropped my daughter off at kindergarten, the song is the exact length from dropping her off to getting to my garage. And so that's what I always listen to.
We love a song where you don't have to like sit and wait for it to finish. Yes. You can just, it's a perfect, that's awesome actually.
I know.
That's so good.
Funny.
Well, and it's fun because like a lot of fans for a while were like, oh my gosh, Taylor's singing the background vocals. Taylor's singing the background vocals. And she's not.
Yeah.
I mean, unless there's some huge conspiracy that she really is, which you never know. And then it's just fun because a lot of people say it sounds like a 1989 Vault Track song, or like a lot of people are like, it sounds like it's different, like the bridge and stuff. And so it's a fun song. If you have not listened to it, I highly recommend. I'm sure all of you have, but if you're like, oh, I've like seen stuff about it, but I haven't listened, like go. It's such a good song.
Yes.
Such a good song.
It's so good.
So.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick ad break really fast to talk about Wally phone cases, which it's been a minute since we talked about them, but
I know we love.
It's a product we use every single second of every single day.
So good. I know we love our Wally cases. So it's a case that has a loop to hold your phone while also having like the wallet attached, so you can always keep your cards with you.
Yeah,
it's just a game changer.
I know, it's so nice. We're actually going to a concert and it's gonna be so nice to not have a wallet and a phone.
I know, it's just like I just bring my phone and I am done. Yeah. Well, and it's nice because like I've tried it for over 6 or 7 years now. I think I've had mine, and I like cannot ever go back to another case. Know. Like I don't care. I've seen other cute like designs and stuff from like other companies. I'm like, no, you don't have all of these features. Like I have to have this.
And I know you've had it for so long, and I wanted it for a long time. It took me so long to finally pull the trigger because I think I was a little worried it was gonna like be hard to get used to, or like just you know, change is change. Most of us don't really like change. It was like it was. I didn't even like notice any kind of transition. I was like immediately. I was like, wait, why haven't I had this longer?
I know. Well, it's still so thin. Like it doesn't feel like bulky and stuff. So yeah, it's super nice.
So great. So we do have a code with them that you can use. It's TTN for 10% off your order at wallycases.com.
Yep.
So yeah. Okay. So next we're going to briefly chat about iHeart Music Awards. Honestly, we talked about this a lot on Patreon. Yeah. And it was kind of just like a disappointing thing.
I think that's like what we came down to, which also makes me be like, oh, we're talking about this again. Great.
Yeah. So like, if we're like over it, but like if you want to hear all of our like initial unfiltered thoughts, like, definitely go check that out. Like you can subscribe on Apple or go to Patreon. I mean, go to Patreon, especially this month.
Because then you can listen to all the episodes and you'll get all the past bonus episodes.
You can just like listen to binge
if you want. Yeah. And then you'll be able to do trivia too. But
yes.
We both just felt like disappointed.
Yeah.
It was just like, I just felt like the overall award show just like wasn't super great. I didn't feel like there was a lot of people there. So there wasn't a lot of like awards giving out for like people to accept.
Yeah, it was very bizarre.
Yeah.
It was, so probably won't ever watch it again.
No, yeah. And I mean, like, even the fact that like Taylor and Travis weren't there, even just Taylor not being there.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, the whole thing, I was just like, this is just
Yeah.
It was a bummer.
But Taylor did win a bunch of awards. So we will definitely at least talk about that. So Taylor won. These were like the social, like fan voted essentially.
Awards. So the first two were given.
Yes.
And then the next ones, like the asterisks, are the ones with
from iHeart, them choosing someone, they gave her Artist of the Year and then also Pop Album of the Year for Tortured Poets. And then the fan voted awards were the surprise guest with Travis.
That was the one that I was like, I'm sure it was going to win. But also, yes, that was the one I was like, please.
Yes. Surprise song, Tour Tradition. Then Fortnite for best lyrics, Fortnite for best music video, favorite tour style, and favorite on screen for the Eras tour.
She's just like,
and then they gave her obviously the like tour of the century. So, and then she didn't win the pop artist of the year.
But I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah, Sabrina won that. We kind of expected that.
Yeah.
Album of the year went to Billie, which was really exciting, and she was there.
Yeah, so which was really, really fun. And I was confused because I don't know if you know this. When I was like double checking that I had gotten them all, under album of the year, it just said like Billie Eilish, but there were no other nominations. So did they just choose that? I'm like, wait, did they just like give that to her?
I feel like we had seen that like other albums were up for that.
So maybe I know, like I checked 2 places. And I was like, I'm confused. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
But yeah, that was fun to like have her win and also have her be there.
Yeah.
And like obviously iHeart isn't the same level as like the Grammys, but it did feel a little bit like a redemption moment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For sure.
The Grammys I think were hard for her. So
yeah,
that was fun to see. And then Gracie won Breakthrough Artist of the Year. She also performed That's So True, and I was obsessed.
It was so good
with the version that she did. Good. She also looked stunning. We personally weren't huge fans of her Grammy look, but we were obsessed with her iHeart look. So that was
fun. Like you said, like her performance was so good, like the arrangement, and I felt like it showed off her voice very well.
Yes,
I was like, oh, girl can sing. Like, I mean, I knew she could sing, but yeah, I was like, oh, okay,
yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
And then when they announced Taylor, or presented, I guess, that Taylor won Tour of the Century, Nikki Glaser was the one who presented for it,
announced.
And we do dive into this deeper on our Patreon episode. Yeah. So if there's just like there's some background with Taylor and Nikki, a little bit of drama, and we kind of like talked all about that on Patreon. Yeah. So if that's something you're interested in,
kind of get more into it on
check
Patreon
it out
a little bit. But
yeah, we're gonna like deep dive it a little bit.
It's hard to like get a little controversial on here, because people are mean. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? That's something that I'm going to just share on Patreon. And if you want to hear my thoughts, great.
We have a great community, and we honestly have not experienced much, even though we're like growing a lot. Yeah. Like I've been pleasantly surprised that like most people have been pretty nice.
Yes.
And then so Nikki wore like her outfit kind of gave like mirrorball vibes.
Yeah, totally.
Which was fun, and she had like the Eras Tour fingernails, and then Taylor she accepted it like virtually, basically a pre-recorded video. She was wearing like a black shirt and a plaid skirt.
What?
Right?
Yeah.
and a snake necklace. So, I joke she's putting us in our place. Like, she's like, you guys, you're going way off the wall with all these theories, all these predictions. Keep the vision. Rep TV is next. Here's my snake necklace.
It was like too perfect. It was so funny. And we do talk a lot about, I mean, I hate to keep being like on Patreon, but like on our subscriber episodes, we talk a lot more about like what all of those mean and like why and like what they're hinting towards and stuff. So if that's your vibe,
we clown on Patreon.
Yeah, that's where we clown, which is fun.
Clowning lives. Yes, it's so fun. But yeah, she just gave a little speech. Basically,
we have the speech there too if you wanted to read it.
Okay. Oh yeah, I can read this. She said, I've been doing a lot of processing since I've been off the road these last few months. And, people often say that sometimes the greatest challenges in life end up being something you're so proud of or end up being the most gratifying feeling in the end, if you can rise to the occasion. And this tour is absolutely the most challenging thing I've ever done in my life. 3.5-hour shows, more shows than I've ever done on a tour. And it really was the most gratifying thing I've ever done. It's also during an extremely difficult time in her life.
Like just personally. Yeah.
I think about that tour constantly. I'm so proud of it. And the only reason I was able to take on those challenges, among others, the ambition of the production, the length of the show, the amount of the shows, all of the different countries we played in, that's all because of the fans. You made the songs for the last couple decades into what they became so that we could do a 3.5-hour set list. You had the passion and the generosity to care about traveling to see us on tour in all these places all over the world. It blows my mind. I'm never going to stop being grateful for it, and I appreciate this more than you know. So
Aww, good. So sweet.
Yeah.
And I just love that she's like, I think about that tour constantly. I'm like, me too.
I'm like, you better never go another day in your life not thinking about it. Just kidding. Just for at least a second,
For reals.
But then the mirrorball performance, which was great. And it was kind of fun that like, because Carly and I were at that show. And so it's kind of fun for us to like relive that.
Like to see it. Yeah. Well, and it was cool to see that was like filmed. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't remember noticing like cameras or anything. So it makes me also wonder what else was filmed
that we didn't know.
That we don't know about.
Yeah, for sure. Crazy.
But then that leads us to be like, okay, so we all thought we were getting some sort of announcement.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
No documentary.
Nope.
No movie 2.0. No live album. Any of the things that I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, I also wanted to bring up Selena's new album.
Yes.
So she did an album with her fiance, Benny Blanco, called I Said I Loved You First. Okay, you've listened. Did you just listen to it once?
Yeah, I don't even think I got to all the songs.
That's okay.
I was so focused on like Kelsey getting ready for the Kelsey concert and
but makes sense.
Initial thoughts, like there are some that I liked right away.
Yeah.
And there are some that I'm like, I'll probably like those more, like the more I listen to them. I've never been, like I like Selena and I always like her big songs, you know? But she's not really one I've ever been like a
full album
front
listener.
to back.
I'm not
like,
either.
Oh, I'm going to hyper focus on this album. Yeah. But there's definitely some that I mean, I still am obsessed with Call Me When You Break Up.
So good. I think that one's the best on the album.
Yeah, it's so
good.
It's
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have listened to it a few times. It has definitely grown on me the more I've listened. I don't think it's an album that I'm going to like necessarily go back to a ton.
Yeah.
There are like a few. Like I really like Call Me When You Break Up. I think that one's like the best one. Younger and Hotter Than Me. I just love a good ballad, and I think Selena does those like really well. Also, oh my gosh, no, it totally just left me. Oh, dang it. Something it starts with a P.
Don't take it personally.
Thank you. Yes.
Because you've told me.
Personally. I just love that one. She mentioned that had happened to her. And so a lot of people are saying that like Hailey Bieber said those things to her. And I just love a song when I know the behind the scenes, which is why I love like, all the Taylor stuff.
The lore.
It's like it makes it a little bit more fun and like meaningful. And so but I think it's good. I don't think it's gonna be one that like I don't think it's really crushing charts or anything. I think it's but it sounds like I think it was really good for her to kind of like get back into the music scene, and it sounds like it was really beneficial for her to do that with Benny.
Yeah.
And I think he did a good job of kind of just helping her feel comfortable to do that. And I also got the vibe that she wasn't ready or she didn't want to like put too many almost like Easter eggs in, because I think she's kind of over people being like
scrutinizing
that's about Haley, as I just did, or like that's about Justin, or that like whoever she was dating. And so I can tell that I didn't feel, I don't know, as like not heartfelt, but like I just felt like there was some things that she didn't say that she could have maybe said. I felt like she was holding it back a little bit. So but I think that's why some of those songs that I felt that like
you
she
can feel the vulnerability.
like I related, or not related to, but I just like felt a little bit more. So, but in regards to that, Taylor Swift broke her 100-day Instagram break to promote Selena's album, which was really, really fun.
I saw that she did that, obviously, but I forgot
didn't even think.
It broke her silence, social media silence,
which is cool. But it has everybody freaking out because she said she has 12 Ds in God.
I know.
Just like I'm know. She's too intentional too.
I know.
Like that.
She was
100%.
1,
yes.
2, 3.
Yep. 100%. She knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing.
Well, it's funny too, because then Taylor, not to clown, we're not clowning, very quickly, she wore the snake necklace, and we're like, oh, it's rep. Then she did the 12 Ds, and we're like, oh, TS12. And then Taylor Nation posted this young videos
with Ronan,
of Taylor,
or not Ronan,
with
Robin,
and everyone's like, debut. I don't know, just so funny. They're just always keeping us on our toes.
All the things.
Yeah.
But Benny and Selena have been doing like a lot of like press tours, which is fun. But in one of the press tours or interviews, Benny said Selena Gomez made him a Swiftie. And this was his quote. He said, I honestly didn't know before we started dating. Like, obviously, I was aware of Taylor Swift's music, but I wasn't like a true Swiftie until I was with Selena. And now I'll be like, put that song on. How's that one go again? And we're in the car, and I'm like, wow, I'm just singing Taylor Swift songs from 10 years ago, and I feel free. I'm like, I love that.
I'm obsessed with all their press,
really,
because it's giving me such an appreciation for him. I didn't really know much about him.
Yeah, same. Well, and I just love it because Selena responds, "They're timeless. What can I say?" And I'm like, true. They're so good. Yeah. So and then Selena also, in one of the interviews, talked about showing her music to Taylor. And I think we had talked about this. I said, do you think
you were asking?
Yeah, she knew those songs beforehand. And here was the interview. It just came out, I think, a day. I think we talked about that on our Patreon call.
Yeah, our Zoom call.
But she said, quote, with Taylor, I value her opinion so much because she's super honest. So I always play her on any of my albums, like the top 2 songs. I like to see what she says, and she's done the same, which I was like, oh, Selena hears Taylor's song before? She definitely will say like, that one's okay, but I think that one's really good. She said, it's very helpful is what I'll say, and I love people who are honest. And I think that's cool. And honestly, like, I have a lot of respect for that with Taylor too, where it's like, good for you for being like, that one's okay. Because I think that like when you're like a good friend, sometimes like your initial reaction is just to like praise everything they do. But like Selena says, like, I love people who are honest, and that's why she's showing Taylor.
Well, and she's her friend, but she's also in the industry. Yes. She's a very big in the industry. Yeah. She wants her obviously support as a friend, but feedback.
Yes. So I just thought that was really cool.
So fun. Okay, Travis recorded a New Heights episode, and it's so funny because you can see him trying not to laugh as the microphone moves by itself. No.
Oh my gosh, I was going to show it to you before we recorded. I forgot.
I've just heard of like, there was like an episode where he kept like looking off to the side and like smiling a little bit or something. It could be that
one. I think that was previous to this one, though.
Okay, I didn't see this video.
If you're like, his mic kind of moves like this, and then you just see him move it back, and he's like trying so hard not to laugh. And he like keeps like looking up, and everyone's just like, Taylor?
Has to be Taylor.
Oh, it totally.
That's so
And
funny.
I just like that I'm obsessed with.
You know what?
I'm obsessed.
In our predictions, I claim she would make a guest appearance on the podcast, and I'm claiming I'm claiming it. I mean, if she makes something more significant throughout the year, that's great, but I'm checking the box.
I think you should. I think that works. I think that works.
So
I know. I just think that's so. I just think it's cute, and like seeing him try to like stay professional, but like smiling, but also having Taylor do something like that. I love that kind of like playful relationship, and so I think that's really cute. I'm obsessed. Fun. Yeah.
And then Lucy Dacus from that she's from what's the band called?
Oh my gosh, Boy Genius.
Boy Genius, yes. She confirmed that Taylor texted her asking permission to name drop her in the song.
Which I thought was cool.
I know. I saw all that. I saw all these articles recent talking about that. And I was like saying that she confirmed it was about her. But I was also like, I thought she already confirmed it. But maybe she did confirm it, but didn't confirm that Taylor asked
I think that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. I think she's just saying yes, Taylor asked me permission. Yeah. Which is kind of cool. Imagine?
Do you care, Carly, if I use your name in my song? Please.
No, for reals. Keep me relevant.
Please use my name in your song.
Kanye wishes.
So you wonder too. Now that makes me wonder about the Black Dog. Do you think they had a heads up, or she needed permission to use it?
Possibly. That's interesting. I could see her. I think, and I was thinking about this. I wonder if after the whole Kanye thing, she's even more particular about I was really hurt when somebody said something about me in a song. I'm gonna make sure that I check with everybody before I do something like that.
Are you guys okay if I say I hope it's shitty in the Black Dog?
They're like, anything. Yes, we don't care. You name drop it. Please.
We're down.
Please use us.
That's so funny.
I love it. Okay, I also had to bring this up because I freaking just love One Tree Hill and I love Tyler Hilton.
Yes.
But Tyler Hilton, who played Drew in the Teardrops on My Guitar music video, he said, quote, "Debut was my album and maybe we'll remake the old Teardrops video for old time's sake after Taylor's version comes out." He just put that out there and I was like,
you're like,
I need that
dude,
now.
Be careful.
I need that now.
Yeah, now we're going to go crazy for that.
Wouldn't that be gosh. Amazing?
That would be incredible.
A remake of Teardrops on My Guitar with both of them.
Oh my gosh.
I would lose my mind.
That's
so obsessed. Yeah. Okay, and then Taylor has now officially had her longest break between album releases since Lover. We're at 344 days and counting. So yeah, I mean, whatever, when this comes out. Yeah. But you think about it.
Folklore and Evermore were fast.
Yes. And then right after Evermore, it was less than a year for Midnights. And then Midnights to Tortured Poets was.
Oh my gosh. That is
right?
I mean, it makes sense.
Think it's her longest break since Lover at 344 days. It's not even a year.
No. Oh my gosh.
And we're just oh my gosh, where's the new album?
That makes me feel even more. I'm like, TS12 is coming.
It's coming.
Because you can't get on my case and be like, well, the re-records. Well, plenty of re-records happened in all that time
all
since
of that.
Lover.
Yeah.
And all those things happened. So
which is crazy.
I still it's coming soon, in my opinion.
I mean, that's... Yeah. I have I wanted to end it with that because I was like, okay, I know Jess is so team TS12 coming.
Yeah.
And we talk about this a lot on our subscriber episodes, so you can get that. But I mean, there's been a lot of hints and I felt like 12s. We had to,
there's
share those.
The 12 Ds, like you just said, and then the A12 when she did that video in the yellow shirt and with holding her cat, and then her red earrings at the Grammys had 12 jewels.
She's just nothing's accidental.
Yeah. And then Travis was asked and said, I hear music everywhere. There might be a few new songs that he's heard. Duh, because they're about him.
Yeah.
She's writing them but next to him,
I just think that's so fun too. Can you imagine Taylor or Travis? I hear music everywhere. That's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then any new songs? There might be a few.
When Taylor sings in the shower, she sings her songs that haven't come out yet,
I'm obsessed. I love that so much. I love that so much. Okay, well, it's wild though. I mean, I mentioned this at the beginning. Taylor was seen twice, I think, in this whole time span. Maybe 3 times if you include her iHeart.
Yeah.
3 times. And look at all those things we got to talk about. Yeah. All related to Taylor.
Crazy.
It blows my mind every time. But
that was so fun. And we hope, I mean, praise. We love Taylor. She deserves a break, but that's kind of why these news episodes get a little bit more spread out, because there's just not as much going on.
No, there's not. Yeah. But don't forget to follow us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We have a YouTube. What? We have a YouTube.
Did you guys hear? What? We have a YouTube.
Join our Patreon, and then that way you won't miss any Taylor updates and all the news in between.
Yes. Okay. So thanks for joining us. And we love doing these news episodes. So and once again, we thought we would we literally scheduled this episode to come out after 328 because we clowned pretty hard for 328.
Yeah, of course. 328.
And of course, nothing with rep happened. So here we are with just, a normal run of the mill news episode with nothing crazy happening.
I know.
One day.
Unfortunately, Taylor has once again left us just yelling at Rep TV that we want you bad, but it's coming down to nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Bye, guys.
Bye.